Namaste, beautiful beings. This is Belinda Pearl, and welcome to this daily oracle series. So let us just simply see where we are today instead of trying to get too many ideas going in our mind, and simply see what guidance wishes to tell us in this moment. So let us all close our eyes, connect to our breath and our breathing. Take a couple of deep breaths in. Just allowing whatever's being in your day to roll off like water on a duck's back. And allow each fresh breath just to simply clear the mind so that we can be fully present in this place, asking for clear guidance to come through. And seeing what clear guidance wishes for you and wishes for me to know at this time. So let's take another deep breath. Breathe in, breathe out. Scary one. No. It says fear. There's something hiding. But I also feel that something wants to break through. And in fact, I may just read you something if I can find the book. But there's this thing that's been going on, at least for me, and maybe for you too, where I feel so much inside of me that there's something that wants to come through. And I know we've had this card about birthing and this energy that wants to come through. And yesterday there was also like, I spoke a little bit about anger and where we want to focus our energy. But what's been coming up too is this idea that fear stops and blocks us. Instead of standing in this place of absolute faith and in absolute trust, we trip over ourselves. We allow our fear to block us. And that fear becomes the darkness that roots inside of us and literally doesn't allow us to grow, to blossom in that thing. So maybe this is what we need to do, is to face our fears. But there's inside of the fear, there's something that wants to be seen, that wants to show you something that's so unexpected. Maybe it's an epiphany, a realization about yourself that you've only been holding yourself back because possibly, maybe you, and this is maybe, it sounds a little cliche, but in this space of being too scared to really stand into your power. And maybe that resonates with you. Maybe you hold yourself back because you don't think that you're good enough, or you don't think that you deserve it, or why should you be that person, or just maybe you just don't think that you're good enough to do it, to step into that place. Sometimes that's like holds me back too. Like I always think, I don't know anything. But then guidance, God, the universe, seemingly shows me this way through, this opportunity, this place, this thing of like a realization that I can do something more than what is actually on the surface, that there's something underlying that wants to come through. And there's this thing that's inside of us. Yeah, see, this is this thing inside of us, and it's going to move through, it's going to expand through all the darkness. It's growing from within, and it simply requires your faith and trust. And it's this idea of having a choice. You know that analogy where it says where the mind goes, energy flows. I believe that that is true. The way your mind settles on is where you allow that part of your life to flourish more, either the weeds or the flowers. So it's a choice. Where do you want to, what area of your life do you want to blossom? What do you want to break free from? So focus on that sense of freedom instead of that thing that blocks you from freedom. So it's a choice of having love and light and truth and prosperity and potentiality and possibility in our life is elevating. It seemingly illuminates us. But then if we hold ourselves tight in a ball of depression or fear, it seems dark. And it's almost like, seemingly seems like that fear is almost like, I don't even want to use these words, like a sin, because it's not allowing us to step into our absolute power, knowing that each of us is created as a great expression of the divine in some way. And if we're blocking that energy, if we're holding ourselves back through an old pattern, maybe we can look at the old pattern and allow ourselves to see how we can grow from that. Maybe that's the fertilizer that we need to see ourselves bound forward into a new way of being. So give me a moment. I'm going to look for that book and see if I can find it really quickly and read to you this passage that I read yesterday, because I've been looking for a prayer to help me in my practices. And I asked a couple of people if they knew a prayer. I kind of looked around to see if something resonated with me, and nothing yet until yesterday, when before I was going to do something which I always get super nervous about. And it's a simple, the nervousness is basically a fear if I'm not going to deliver. And I opened the book and this passage was there, and I read it like 3 or 4 times, and I was amazed that this prayer that I've been looking for was written in the book. I know again I changed the words a little bit just to suit them to me, but it was what I had asked for. I'd asked the universe to provide me with a prayer that can help me sustain myself against any kind of darkness, any kind of fear. And so this is what this is. What can we sustain ourselves? So give me a moment here. I'm going to press pause while I look for that book. Hi, Joanne's, I found the book. So I'm just going to read to you these 2 pages, and I want you just to simply listen along. Today I choose the light and turn away all darkness. I know there is a force within that lures me toward the light, and yet there is a competing force that would keep me bound to darkness. May the love of God cast out the fear that has lodged inside my consciousness. For truly there is no contest when love has power and fear does not. My choice for God increases his power to dissolve my fear and suffering. Today I choose to live in the light of forgiveness and love, and that the darkness of fear shall fall away. And there's a prayer at the bottom. It says, Dear God, may my mind today be filled with light, so darkness cannot enter. May love so saturate my every thought that fear cannot remain. Amen. Fear. And so this book opened yesterday, and so I've been working my own fear of what stands in my own way. Finding this prayer is what I'd asked for, and it just kind of, I've had this book for a while, it just kind of came up to the surface. So I feel like there's something, a momentum that's moving on. The other page says, may I participate in God's work today. Today I do not look for ways that life might serve me, but rather for how I can serve life. I place myself in service to God's endless creativity, praying to be the pencil with which he writes and the paintbrush with which he paints. May all that is the work of God be furthered by my choices today. I put aside my search for little things and participate freely in the glory of creation. And there's a prayer. It says, Dear God, may my thoughts and actions help further today a work that is greater than my own. May all I am and all I do be a channel for all good things. Amen. So I feel like this card, fear, to me is an answer, at least for me for sure, and what I've been working with and what's been coming up in my life. And knowing that there's this idea that I need to stand up against my fears. Maybe we all need to stand up against our fears and find that light inside. Make that choice for you and for me so that we can all stand in that place of our power. And there's something inside of us that, again, wants to be birthed. And we need to push through our old patterns, our old programs, our old fears, and let them relinquish themselves. Let them dissolve themselves. Let yourself let go of them so you can start to illuminate from within and allow that birthing to come through. So hopefully all of this made sense in some way or another. And so from my heart to yours, may you always be blessed. Namaste. And again, you can always find me at belindapearl.com, and I look forward to seeing you all again soon. Namaste.